With more on the Vegas Golden Knights and what they're doing in the community and what they're also doing to raise the bar over there at the Fortress. Kevin Martin joins us with Golden Knights president Kerry Bubolz. Kevin, things really continue to unfold with this team.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I'm joined by Vegas Golden Knights team president Kerry Bubolz. And Kerry, here we are, 3.5 years in, and we're not only seeing a winning product on the ice year in and year out, obviously currently first in the Pacific right now, but off the ice, we're still seeing growth in pretty much all the major areas: retail, sponsorships, ticket sales, ratings. I know there's a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. How have you guys been able to continue to grow in those areas?
Well, I think, first of all, you got to give it back to the fans and say, we're very fortunate. They are the best fans in the National Hockey League from day one. They've been coming out, over capacity crowds. We're now at about 105, almost 106% of capacity, and that's been every night. And you know, whether it's the preseason, regular season, postseason, it does start with the fans, and then that translates into all of the other areas that are important to make the business work. Obviously, retail is a big piece. We still take a lot of pride in the fact that wherever we go throughout the valley, whether it's license plates, bumper stickers, jerseys, hats, t-shirts, you name it, for people to wear their fandom the way they do, it makes us feel really good. But also you know, it gets back to what happens on the ice, and it really starts with the guys and the way that they from day one have been so competitive and have done such a fantastic job, and it just allows us to really keep building on the business, and it's just been amazing. It really is. It's been incredible.
And you mentioned what happens on the ice. You know, no one's going to forget anytime soon what happened on the ice that first season, the inaugural season, the trip to the Stanley Cup final. But not only on the ice that first year, but off of it. You guys established, you know, that reputation of being the fiercest atmosphere in the entire league. The bar was set so high. How have you been able to, as a team, not only on the ice but off of it, live up to the quote-unquote hype and continue to impress and, you know, come up with new ideas every single game and season?
Well, you know, this is a little bit of an analogy from our owner, but it starts with Bill Foley, and it gets back to the night and what it represents, the epitome of the Warrior class. You walk into our office, and in big bold letters it says, "Always advance, never retreat." And so when you think about that, and you think about on the ice and how we play and our style, that really does apply to off the ice. And I'm a big believer that great companies are always innovating, they're always advancing, they're never retreating, they're always finding ways to push and make it better. And you know, we've got a lot of fans who come every night. You know, they're there 41 nights a year, and although the game on the ice is different every night, if the show or the event off the ice is exactly the same, it may get a little bit old and stale. And so we're constantly refreshing, but a lot of the ideas we get actually come from our fans, especially with retail product that they made themselves. And it's like, you know what, there's an idea there that we could then replicate and sell to other fans. And like I said, it's just been a really unique and incredible experience, but it starts with great ownership and then ultimately putting a great product on the ice. So George McPhee, Kelly McCrimmon, what they've been able to do and keep it going as well. You know, it's not just on the business side, is really amazing, and it allows us to do everything that we do from a business perspective. We're really fortunate.
And you mentioned the fans, and I think one of the coolest things about sports is traditions, is team traditions. And
we
you
love
guys,
those.
Yeah, you had a really unique opportunity to build these traditions, right? The March to the Fortress, the Rally Siren. How fun was that to be able to innovate these new ideas? And did you go through and see which ones kind of stuck and what fans really gravitated towards and bonded over?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, again, I've used it 3 times now already, but it comes back to the fans. And so from early on, it's like, what were some of the ideas they would like to see, or maybe they had seen somewhere else, but that we could make it our own and give it a little bit of a Vegas twist. So those have been a lot of fun. The March to the Fortress, really, we got from soccer, Major League Soccer. There were a couple of cities like Seattle that had just done an incredible job of engaging their fans leading into their facility, and so we kind of took that idea and made it our own. One of my most exciting, one of the things I look forward to the most is during the national anthem. And you think about it, gets to that point where, you know, it's at night. and the whole crowd says that, whether we're at home or on the road. And then I can remember early on, okay, there are a few fans that were saying night, and then before you know it, now you've got 18,000 plus people, and it really is one of our great traditions. And then one we created on our own is when the visiting player goes into the penalty box. You think about you think about professional wrestling and just kind of that atmosphere, good guy, bad guy, and we started the shame chant. It's that tradition it's building, but those things have to be organic. You can't just make them happen. But we've tried to seed some ideas. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you know when you hit on one, and it's a lot of fun.
And you guys, put such an emphasis on youth hockey here in Las Vegas, and just watching it grow through the past 3 years. How rewarding has that been?
Well, first of all, it was the most important thing that we needed to do. We needed to put investment in place. Obviously, with City National Arena, that was our first investment, not only in terms of the NHL side of our business, but what we wanted to do with youth hockey and development of the game. But it's also been the most rewarding. And every single day to see the number of kids that are going through our Learn to Skate program, then evolving into Learn to Play and Little Nights and all of our house leagues, and to see these kids on the ice is truly amazing. And then one thing it really has allowed us to do is, a big important part of our mission here is belonging, diversity, introducing our game to kids that may not have been introduced in maybe a traditional way, and build the game in some non-traditional areas of our community. And it's so rewarding. It's been amazing, and can't wait, because I say it in just about every time I talk about youth hockey, but it's going to happen. Between 12 and 15 years from now, there's going to be a kid from Las Vegas that's going to get drafted in the NHL. It's going to happen, and it's going to be a proud moment, because they started now, coming to a game, telling their parents they'd like a chance to play, jumping in to Learn to Skate, and then ultimately, before you know it, they're playing at an elite level and getting drafted. So it's really rewarding.
And finally, wrapping up, did you think when you took this position here as the president 3.5 years ago, before that this would be the situation right now, that the first year, obviously the Stanley Cup run, last year's postseason run, but not even the product on the ice, but the product off the ice, so much success. Could you imagine this?
Well, there's a big saying that I learned when I was in Cleveland, but if you see it, you'll believe it. And I could see it from day one, what the potential and the opportunity was. I'd be lying if I said that I believed that it would happen as fast as it did, but I absolutely believed that we would be successful, that we would achieve all of the unique connections that we've been able to do, because like I said, if you see it, you'll believe it, and we did. It just happened a little faster, and it's been an incredible ride so far, and can't wait for Tuesday night. Pittsburgh Penguins are in the house, busy week, so it'll be a fun week, and hopefully we can keep playing well. The guys are really working hard. We won 4 in a row at home now, and like you mentioned, top of the Pacific, and ready to just kind of get to the second half and keep that momentum going and see if we can't finish this thing off and get in the playoffs again.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Kerry, for spending time with us tonight. Of course, the Golden Knights, as he mentioned, are back in the Fortress Tuesday night looking for their 5th straight win against the Penguins. Now let's send it back over to Chris, who has more on one of the Golden Knights who was busy in the community earlier today.